Start with an update tonight. A man slapped with an intoxicated assault charge tonight after a toddler found inside a car following a crash. Now, the child discovered unconscious on the floorboard by the towing company away from the scene. Local 2's Ryan Martin joining us live in the studio with more details. And Ryan, what's the latest?
Stephanie, the driver of the car, Ever Ortega, as well as his 12-year-old passenger, were asked repeatedly at the scene by first responders if there was anyone else in the car. They told them no. The 3-year-old later found after the vehicle was already towed away. Traffic moving as normal Friday, but that wasn't the case Monday when first responders arrived to a 3-vehicle crash at the intersection of 385 and Loop 338 in Ector County. Andrea Goodson with the City of Odessa says Odessa Fire and Rescue, DPS, and the Ector County Sheriff's Office responded to the scene.
In their assessment, they asked numerous times if there were any other passengers in the vehicle. Every time that question was asked, their response was, no, there's no other passengers in this vehicle.
But it turns out there was a child in the back of a Jeep Grand Cherokee. The 3-year-old wasn't discovered until the Jeep was towed away and found by an employee of Unlimited Wrecker Service. According to the DPS report, when the trooper arrived on the scene, she was notified by emergency personnel that the injured had been transported to the local hospital, and she began her crash investigation.
Nothing on scene led paramedics or firefighters to believe there was another passenger in that vehicle.
Ever Ortega later taken into custody and now faces intoxicated assault charges. The child remains in the hospital tonight, and questions raised about how the child went unnoticed.
This is a very extraordinary circumstances that is very concerning to all agencies involved.
All other parties involved in the crash left their vehicles on their own, some with minor injuries. DPS tells us the 3-year-old child was taken to a Lubbock hospital and was the only one not wearing a seatbelt. In the studio, Ryan Martin, Local 2 News.
Meanwhile, the towing company whose employee found the child, Unlimited Wrecker Service out of Odessa, releasing this statement tonight, saying in part, our thoughts and prayers are first and foremost with the health and hopeful recovery of the child involved in the incident. We will continue to cooperate with law enforcement as they complete their investigation.